Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Now please welcome to the ice for their pregame warm-up, presented by Scott Credit Union. Your St. Louis
Fan Report! Aloha and mahalo and welcome to the Fan Report. It would not be a Stanley Cup Finals without a little bit of controversy. And who is in the middle of that controversy? But, and I guess as a journalist I can't say it, but the man who we just know would be it, Kadri, right? If there's going to be controversy, Kadri's got to be at the center of it. That's who he is. That's what he is. And I got to love Av fans. And I mean that facetiously. First of all, the first goal should have never counted because his mask came off. That's not what the rule says, people. That's not what the rule says. Oh, well, that's a shitty rule. They need to change it for safety. Okay, fair enough. Then crashing the net needs to be changed for safety too. Because a goalie got injured because he was doing his job, and you don't care about that. Oh, no. It's not Kadri's fault. He got pushed, from the guy in front of him. I love that argument. I love the pushed argument, right? Oh, well, it was a Tampa Bay Lightning that knocked the helmet off. No, it wasn't. It was a shot. It was a shot. Right? Bullshit, David. They're not a team of destiny. They're a team of bullshit. That's what I like. There's nothing in my hair. That's just wet hair. That's just wet hair, Matt. No vitalis in that whatsoever. Just wet hair. Just my long wet hair. Now I'm lost. McDavid, they're a team of crap, right? They're a team of crap, and they're getting the cup because their own. You know what? The golden rule: he who has the gold makes the rules. Plain and simple. Crappy ass owner who puts a lot of money out wins the cup. That's all it is. That's all it is. Right? And next year when they miss the playoffs, I'm going to laugh my ass off. Oh, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. That absolutely. See, this is Avs fans. This is Avs fans. First of all, they look at that first goal. That was perfectly legal. Absolutely freaking legal. And they will complain about it all day long. Shouldn't have happened. Whistle should have been blown dead. Da-da-da-da-da. What do you want him to do? Stop it with his face. You know what? Remember earlier in the season, Bennington had trouble with his strap? And he flipped his helmet off? What happened there? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Right? Well, here's the thing. This is what's really cool about this. In 19, the Avalanche had the same thing happen to them, and they got a goal taken away because it was considered offsides. And they complained and complained and complained. And now in the same situation, oh, no. The other thing that Avs fans like to point out is that there were 7. So here's the distance. There were line changes going on, and during line changes, you will have too many men on the ice. You'll have more men, but it's usually men coming on, coming off. In the picture that I saw where someone points to 7, you can see that there are 2 guys that gone off and 2 guys that come on. They're next to each other. right? They're inside the blue dot, inside the red dot. They're inside the red dot. They're within that 5 feet, right? Inside that 5 feet. Well, here we go. This is the perfect person to argue this with. Let me take care of this right here. You're getting a link, Win. Don't know if you can come on, but you're getting it anyways. There you go, Win. Right? Those guys were within 5 feet. 5 feet. You look at where McKinnon is, and everybody else is on the other side of the ice. There is no way when McKinnon was at the 5 foot mark, Kadri got all the way over there. No freaking way. We'll talk about that later, Colin. No freaking way did Kadri get all the way over there. Oh, I've already had my meltdown in the groups with a couple of Avs fans who, they do no wrong. And you know what? This is something, and I get this. I really do get this, okay? I get how we see our teams. I get rose-colored glasses. I really do. I get it. I understand it. There's no problem with it. It's me with the Kadri, with the hit on Bennington. You will never convince me that was not intentional. You won't. You know what? And I might be the only one in the world that says it wasn't that it was intentional. And 1,000 people can tell me that it was fine. I'm still going to see it my way. I get, and that's a problem with sports here lately, right? That's just a problem with sports. And I don't know what else to say about it. It just is what it is. I don't know how to do anything around it or get around it. Again, it is what it is. And with that being said, okay, but at least I listen. That's what I think people should do. I really think people should listen to the argument. I have had so many Avs fans tell me that play was not too many men because of other things. The picture that they're looking at isn't the right picture. There was a video put on Twitter, and I shared it on my Twitter, that showed, oh, it's Danny John. Hey, Danny, how you doing, buddy? That showed Kadri go off long before McKinnon gets near the bench. Long before. And to me, that just, how is it that this guy's constantly involved in controversy? Oh, I'm pretty sure he did. I didn't hear it, but I've heard others say it, right? Oh my goodness, there's another one. Lightning the Lightning are going for a three-peat. 3 in a row. I don't think the Blackhawks ever did that there, JT. Don't think you guys ever won 3 in a row. Nope, you had to take time off. You had to take time off, right? There we go. That's what I think of the Blackhawks. Yeah. No, it's, and this goes into something that I've talked about before. And there's a way, all of this controversy, the majority of this controversy, was someone called Kadri an American hero. I hope not. Oh no! I know. Oh no! I know. I'm with you there, Matt. Did someone call Kadri an American hero? Oh my goodness, Matt Lowe, come on. I don't know. I don't want to even get into there. Yeah, I think he was being. Sarcastic there. Yeah, that's what I figured. Oh, now I'm a sack of shit. Oh my goodness! Thank you. I knew Matt was being facetious. I knew he was. I knew he was being sarcastic. As soon as I seen it, I knew where that was going. Um, more than likely. No, it's there's a way to make this shit go away. There really is, and it's what I've talked about it before, and I really hope that no, you're not. Don't talk about yourself, guys. See, that's the type of language I don't want. Stop it. Right? You don't. Come on, guys. Let's get better than that. We don't need to downgrade ourselves. Please don't. Oh man, I'm sorry. There's a way to make this all go away. It really does, and it'll make. I won't say all of it, but it'll make a lot of it go away. And I'll bring that up in a second. Give me a moment. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe, kind of, sort of. Oh, there he is. Nick.
What's up?
Nick, come on, man. What are your thoughts on yesterday?
A lot of missed calls happened, for sure.
Okay, well, let's start with the first one. Let's start with the original goal. Kemper's helmet ass coming off, and then a goal being scored.
Yeah. That one was interesting because it seemed like, well, Kemper didn't seem ticked off after it happened because it seemed like it was bam bam and the went in. So no calling of a goalie losing his mask there. I understand the not calling it there just because it seemed like the puck was going in no matter what.
Well, they still had control of the puck. It wasn't like the puck got, put in the corner and then came back out and he was a sitting duck for a slap shot from the blue line. The puck was right there in front of the net, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was. But just how it was played out, it just seemed like it was pretty much a pinpoint setup for a goal. What was going on there? It did not seem like a It did not seem. It seemed like
by rule, that goal was absolutely good. By rule,
right? It was a good goal.
I have no issue with that rule. I have no issue with that. Right?
I didn't have an issue with that.
Okay. Now let's go to the overtime goal.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ton of issue with the overtime goal.
That one should not have counted.
Exactly. Here's what all Avalanche fans. First of all, someone has posted a picture of the six guys on the ice, but it's at the end of the play, right? It's when Kadri's crossing line. Kadri crossing the line has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
There's a video that's out, and I put it on my Twitter. I don't know if you've seen it, and I can go look at it and see if I can find it. It shows the bench. It shows Kadri leaving the bench, and McKinnon's nowhere in sight. Then McKinnon comes in, right? Mm-hmm. That picture, it also the picture that they show, and I don't know where it is. I'm sure somebody can find it. It shows the six Avalanche and the 7 Lightning. When you look at that picture, the 7 Lightning, the 4 players over are by the bench.
Yeah.
Right? They're all by the bench. That's a change. You look at the other one, and everybody's on this side of the rink while McKinnon's at the thing. There's no way McKinnon, 5 foot from the thing, everybody got over there that quick.
Yeah.
Into the play. No way. That's my point. You can make an assumption that there were 6 men on the ice while Colorado had the play and not in the change.
Yeah.
Right? And you can make that argument.
And if you looked at the official score It did show 6 skaters
6 guys,
plus the goalie.
6 guy. Yep, it showed McKinnon still being on the ice when the goal scores. He
Yes.
hadn't even gotten off yet. Well, actually, he did get off. I think that part of that, I think the NHL explained it, has that it was the thing they use
Yeah.
hadn't clicked off, even though he was on the bench when the goal was scored.
Yeah.
Actually, no. See, that's it. It shouldn't be official. This is the NHL's got to stop this. This is tainting, and it's happening every year. You're getting too many of these. And what is this? This is four now controversial plays that the Avalanche have been involved in.
I mean, St. Louis had that issue in 2019 also. So.
No, that was not St. Louis. It was San Jose that had them all go for them.
St. Louis had a couple of them in that playoff, I remember.
They had one that I will argue to this day, he played the puck, and that's not tripping. That if anything, it should have been called. And again, this is the rose-colored glasses, right? That it should have been called embellishment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you can see Bozak takes his stick and puts it on the puck. He's playing the puck. And then I forget which Boston player it is, skates backwards and then falls over Bozak's stick.
Yeah.
That's not tripping to me. Now, everyone else says that's tripping. To me, that was embellishment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was the only controversial goal St. Louis had. Right? And that's the one that gets around, and Steen ends up. That's the one where Boston all thought it was a penalty, so they stopped playing. Right? In 2019, we only had one suspension.
We did not have a single suspension in 2019. In 2019, the Hawks were one of the worst teams in hockey.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are you saying there, Matt? We didn't have a team that didn't.
I don't think you made the playoffs in 19.
No, we didn't.
You didn't.
That was the year we ended up.
I think he's talking about regular season. He might be talking about regular season. And again,
no, in the Hawks in playoff runs, they had one suspension of a major player on that team during a playoff run, and that was more so 2013 Duncan Keith in the Western Conference Final.
I think it was. I don't think Barbie got suspended. I know Sonny did. I don't think Barbie did.
I think he had two suspensions in that playoff.
Okay, fair enough. But you know how to get rid of this, I think I brought it up before. I think having that fifth official up in the press box gets rid of this problem. You know how 4 officials on the ice don't see 6 men on the ice at that period? Because there's a bunch of changing going on.
Mm-hmm.
It covers things. Tampa changed legally. This is my point here. I understand that Tampa had 7 guys on the ice. It was a legal change. You look at that picture and you can see that they're right there. That whole picture, they're right at the dot. They're within that 5-foot area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You look at, and man, if I could find that picture, I'm trying to stay out of some of the groups and some of the things that people have been saying because it pisses me off. And I'm trying to put it in a good.
Are you talking about the picture from kind of behind Kemper's net?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Hang on.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and you can share that. If you put it in, then I'll put it up.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm just trying to get the link.
Yeah, no problem. And then the video, and it might be on my Twitter. The video was really good. The video to me is it. The problem with this picture is it's not. Everyone thinks, here's the thing. All Avs fans, well, when he entered the zone, he was next to the bench, so it shouldn't. It doesn't matter when he entered the zone. It's when the puck was played and where McKinnon was. McKinnon was not even near the bench when Kadri enters the play. When Kadri enters the play, there are 6 guys on the ice that are in the play. Right? And then McKinnon comes to the bench. Oh, and then I've heard, this is the good one, the Avs fan. Well, the Avs just should, the Tampa Bay had to just stop it. It was 6-on-5. It was 6-on-5. Okay, hold on. I'm looking at it here, bud. Okay. Right. Yeah. I think there's actually, I've seen one where the numbers are in red, but see this picture is huge to me. See if I can show this. There's something in this picture, and I think that it's gotten missed by the majority of people, right? Okay, there's something huge in this picture, right? And I'm going to try, so I won't be able to see you guys. So can you see my cursor there?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. That's Avalanche player 1, Avalanche player 2, Avalanche player 3, Avalanche player 4, Avalanche player 5. Where are they all at?
All on the opposite side of the bench.
Opposite side of the ice. Kadri came on to replace McKinnon. 5 foot, if you just want to say the dot, right? Yeah. I'm looking at that being the 5 foot mark.
I mean,
how did Kadri get in the time that McKinnon got from here to here? How did Kadri get from there to there? That's impossible. The issue. Say again?
It's impossible to get there from there.
Exactly. And now look here. Now, if in this same picture, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Look where these 2 guys are.
They're coming in.
They're coming in. I can argue that they were both did not enter the ice until these guys got to that 5 foot mark.
And by the way, the 5 foot mark is more so at the top end of the sponsor logo. If you look, that's right here, 5 feet from the bench.
Right here?
Yes.
Hey, I'm even giving some reasonable doubt here.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going off the dot here, but I'm giving some reasonable doubt. These guys here, I can see this.
Yeah.
Right? Because, this guy I'm guessing this guy got first. He comes over and now since he's going in the door, it slows up. You going in the door.
Yeah.
He's second. He's right at that point. These guys don't affect the play. This here affects the play because for him to get from here to here and Kadri to get from there to there, in that amount of time, it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. It has nothing to do with the offside. It has to do with the fact that Kadri entered the play long before McKinnon came off. He jumped the board early. It should have been called. It absolutely should have been called. And look, I don't care if it was Nikushin that did it or Lankingen or Johnson, one of the Johnsons. I don't care who it was. It's an offsides play, right? For me, the play, it's so offside, it's not even funny. Or not offsides, pardon me, too many men, right? You can't get to that point. You can't get to the point that they're at, right? Without being early.
And with the fact that how if you look McKinnon was not trying to get off the ice. It seemed like he was just standing on.
Just standing there.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. Let me go see if I can find this video real quick.
I have it.
Andy, which is it? The video where it's from the bench?
Yeah.
Okay. I just got some news that Patrice Bergeron is going to sign a 1-year deal with Boston.
Oh.
Interesting. Let's see. Okay.
Is that official? Like.
Well, it's from one of my hockey writer groups. So.
Okay.
And it looked like it came from another tweet.
Oh yeah. Pierre LeBron just tweeted. Yeah, it's basically confirmed.
See, right there, there's where McKinnon gets, and McConaughey's long gone. So let me bring this up. Hold up. Yeah, he's like long gone. Right. I think Kadri's already on the ice in this one. The other one I saw, it shows Kadri leaving the bench, but. I'll show this one.
Copywritten for this because.
Say again.
I hope you don't get copywritten for this.
Usually when I use Twitter, I don't. Usually when I use Twitter, I don't. It's when I use YouTube or things like that. And if I don't play the sound, I think I'll be okay. All right, who's it from?
Shoot. Some Oilers.
Okay, so here's the video, right? And at this point, I guess it's showing. I can't completely see it. Let me kind of go to it, see what I can see. I can't see if that's Kadri or not there.
No, that's Byram.
Byram here. Who's this here? Is that Kadri?
I don't think that's Kadri. I can't tell yet.
See, here's McKinnon. That's McKinnon there.
He's just coming in slow, and there's
Kadri's already left the bench.
Yeah.
Kadri's already left the bench.
Yeah.
Right? Well, now watch here. He's coming in. That's Kadri right there.
Yeah, that's Kadri.
Okay, that's Kadri. That was McKinnon. I'm not sure. I don't think that's McKinnon now. Right? But watch. He doesn't. He goes back into the play.
No,
Kadri left. Nobody's come to the bench. Nobody's come to the bench. There's McKinnon. Right? See how far ahead Kadri leaves? That's why this is too many men on ice.
And also it was offside, by the way. Look.
Oh, was it also offside?
If you look at it, it looks offside by how McKinnon is.
So actually should have been a double penalty. Well, no, offsides wouldn't have been a penalty.
But it does look offside if you look at the bottom camera angle.
Well, here's the thing. In the 19 playoffs, the San Jose Sharks beat the Avalanche on a very similar play. Right? Mm-hmm. The Avalanche had a lead in Game 7, or would have had a lead, but had a goal pulled back because the guy was left the ice inside the blue line, and they called that offsides.
Yeah.
Right? They called that offsides because he went in that door right here. Right?
Yeah.
No, this is, and you look at me. See, look, he's standing there. He's still standing on ice when that goal goes in. I'm sorry, that's absolutely too many men on ice.
Yeah.
He stays on the ice. Yeah, see, they're showing Kadri here. Let me go back a little bit.
And if you look at McCauley, he was not facing towards the benches, too.
Yeah, well, look right here. So there's Kadri. Kadri thinks he's coming to the bench. And I'm not sure who that is. Right? He doesn't come to the bench. What?
No, that's not Landeskog. That might have been Natushkin.
Who's got an A?
He does not have an A on. That's just the Stanley Cup patch.
Oh, okay. But look, he does not come. And then they show Kadri entering the play. This is still, the McKinnon is, look at this. He's way more than 5 feet out.
Yeah.
Right? This is definition too many men on ice.
Yeah, it's too many.
Absolutely
men,
a definition of too many men on ice. There is no doubt in my mind. I actually thought you were going to argue with this one there, Wendy.
No, I basically said this goal, when I saw it went in, I said, I think this could be getting called back. I was shocked Tampa couldn't challenge it.
Well, that's the thing.
See,
that's the thing, that you can't challenge that.
Yeah, then I forgot it's overtime. You can't challenge an overtime.
Well, no. Well, yeah, you can't challenge, but you can't even, the refs couldn't even review it.
Yeah.
Right? If you had the fifth official up there, he could have buzzed that down and says no goal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Too many men on ice. I saw it. I'm calling it. Buzz it down as a penalty. Right? Goal comes back. Too many men on ice. And give them the penalty. I absolutely believe that. I think that the NHL absolutely has to go to that fifth official. Right? They're showing it now. Yeah, I mean, he's so. Yeah. This is a different one. But yeah, I'm just, how do the Avs keep getting the breaks? Right? How do they keep getting the breaks? This was, and the NHL's got it. You know what? I really do think that they need to review every goal.
I don't agree on that.
Well, the NFL reviews every touchdown.
And how long does NFL games run?
They're right about the same time as a hockey game, about 2.5 hours.
No, they are roughly 3.5 hours with reviews and commercials. NHL does not want that situation.
You know what? In the time that they're celebrating, you can quickly review goals.
Oh, I agree, but there's a time. Here's where I think, if it's an overtime winning goal, definitely should be automatic review just in case if anything was a situation you don't. On overtime winning goals, that's where I feel like
overtime goals. You're saying any overtime goal is a winning goal.
Well, you know what I mean. Any overtime goal, just do a quick review and that's it. If it's not, and if it's a regulation goal, just leave it where you can challenge it or let the play move on. That's where I'm at. I don't think reviewing every single goal, because think about it. Just the other night, there was a 8-goal game, and then another 8-goal game and another 7-goal game before that.
But the thing is, when they score a goal to when the puck is dropped, that's usually about 2 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. You have a guy reviewing that play right then and there in that 2 minutes. As soon as the goal scores, he goes back. He's got the video right there. Got the video right there. He can go back and look. And should be able to look and within the 2-minute time frame to look at something. And unless he sees something, he doesn't buzz down. If he sees something, he buzz down. I'm not talking about the on-ice officials reviewing every game. I'm talking about Toronto or a fifth official reviewing that during the celebration.
The issue with that is Toronto on most nights are looking at a maximum of 16 games, a minimum of probably 5 games.
I mean, 1 game. Minimum would be 1.
Yeah, a minimum of 1 game, but an average of 5 games a night.
Yeah, okay. And I get that. A night. So then you put the fifth official, you put the video official, like I've talked about, on the ice, up in the box. You put the video official up there who his job is to make sure that they're good goals and that he can catch some of this procedural stuff. Puck over the glass. Puck over the glass is a huge penalty.
Yeah.
Right? And when it doesn't get called, when it gets missed like it does consistently, it affects games. Colorado had four pucks over the glass in the St. Louis series and did not get one penalty for any of them. 4 of them. Unreviewable play. Okay, your fifth official, he's able to review that. Bam. Right? It's called right. You also, the other thing that, I see is some offsides, some of that stuff. Like right now, you're seeing the puck launched in the air, right? That guy up there, he might be able to see that a little better on that launched puck. That's how I feel about it. I mean, do you? I don't know. I just
don't want to. The thing is, I don't like seeing when reviews. There was a review this year on an overtime goal the Hawks scored that took 15 minutes in a overtime after the goal was scored.
Was it an offsides?
Offside, and the net came off the moorings. They were reviewing both plays. Both were deemed on. One was onside, and one was deemed puck across the line before the net came off its moorings.
Well, net off the mooring only matters if it was a Blackhawk that knocked it off the moorings.
And that's who they were claiming it was on.
Okay.
And it took 15 minutes to do these reviews. That's the issue.
Okay. Well, but see, in most cases, most of the reviews don't take that long.
I know, but some reviews do take that long. There's been multiple times I've seen reviews take 15 minutes or just under. That's an issue. You don't want to get to issues where the reviews are taking up like 5 minutes of time, because the games are already 2.5 hours, which is a perfect time. You don't want to get it out of hand, because there's going to be these games where you're seeing 10 goals put up a night, and that's going to make it ridiculous to review everything you see on the ice.
And it was, again, if you have that fifth official up there, that's his job. That's what he's doing. He's catching things as the game is going. I think that eliminates the 15-minute time. Right? I really do. I think that will help take that down to a much duller roar.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I wanted to get it right. You know what? I want him to get it right. Yeah, that's what's important. I want them to get it right. The problem with this is, it's happening. It's in the playoffs. It's happening too much. It's every year now we have this controversy of this team or that team, and then. The fact that it always seems it's the same team that gets it every single time. I'm not sure who this is here. MLS Next Match. Yep, that's coming up on Saturday. I had my interview with the coach today, or the press conference with the coach today. I'm sorry, and right now, Avs fans are God. I cannot stand Avs fans. Wendy, you want people to, you don't want people following your team, but you want them to be invested, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want the bandwagon fans, because they're the ones that give your team a bad name.
Bandwagon fans, yes, they do give your team a bad name, but then there's another side.
Avalanche adore it. They're asking for bandwagon fans.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually asking for bandwagon fans.
Here's the thing with bandwagoners also. There's some point where bandwagoners are hopping on a team and then they stick with them for the rest of their lives. It takes some where they find a team they want to choose, and it sometimes takes them to.
I'd say that's less than 2% of bandwagon fans.
Yes, but there's sometimes it's good for the sport if there is some bandwagoners just to get more involvement into the league. But
I
I know where you're coming from. Do I not enjoy bandwagoners? No. I'm saying this. It's 2019. St. Louis had a bandwagon going because no one would touch their stuff when they were dead last in the NHL.
no,
No, no. I know this. I worked in a sports store and no one would buy anything with the St. Louis Blues logo
well, I was
until they
buying stuff
started
even when they were in last. So
until they started their climb up. That's when people started walking in buying blue stuff.
well, I think see that's one of the notions with and I'm trying to find out where this person is who how this person's watching me so I can figure out who they are.
Yeah, that's also a mixture of fair weather and bandwagoners. I agree.
Fairweather fan is a fan that's a fan only when the team's winning.
Yeah.
Right?
And
oh, it's
yeah,
Danny
that's
Johnson.
a mixture of fair weather and bandwagoners too. When people do not want to buy their stuff, that's a mixture because you're hopping on back on the bandwagon if you're a fair weather fan when they're starting to win. I'm a Cub fan. We were the lovable losers for years. We won a World Series, and now we're back down to being one of the worst teams in baseball because.
But you don't have the worst attendance in baseball.
No,
that's
we
the
don't.
difference.
We never have. But the issue is, we hate the owners of the Cubs because they're too cheap to do anything. All they care about is their marquee network.
They were on. I remember it's a couple of years ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. I know it was the new owners of the Cubs. They were on, that show Undercover Boss.
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago.
Oh, was that 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Is it the same owners?
It was right when they bought the Cubs.
It's the same owners, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got their championship, and then now they're reaping the rewards. But with Chicago, with the Avalanche, this team, when they were up until now, here's the one thing: they didn't just all of a sudden start winning. They have a progression. 18, they made the playoffs and got swept during 5 games. 19, they made the second round and lost to the Sharks. 20, they made the second round and lost to Dallas, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Last year, they made the second round and lose to Vegas. So they've have a progression.
Yeah.
And that's good. But at the same time, just the amount of players, the dirty players they have. And then, but with that, up until I'd say 2020, you could get a ticket in there for nothing. Right? Yeah. In 17, 18, when I went to the Vegas game, I seriously thought about doing a day earlier and flying to Denver because I could have gotten a front row seat for a quarter of what it cost me to get a seat 2 rows behind the penalty box.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I could have gotten a glass seat right next to the bench in Denver on the secondary market.
Yeah.
For $110. It cost me $300 to sit 2 rows behind the penalty box in Vegas. Right? And that's, the Avalanche fans, they're not solid fans. There are some out there, but the majority of them, you remember when he had Marco on here, I said that to him and he didn't disagree with me.
No, he agreed.
Right? And in my fantasy league, I said, I told him, I told the guy, the Colorado Avalanche guys won the Cup 2 years in a row. I told him, I said, "Hey man, did you hear that they were going to cancel the parade if the Avalanche win?" And he's like, "What are you talking?" I said, "Yeah, they can't find enough bandwagons, right? The majority of their fans, they couldn't tell you any players other than McKinnon and Kadri,
Mm-hmm.
right? Don't know anything about any other players other than McKinnon and Kadri. And Kadri is a mafia don to me. That's all he is. He's this guy that did all these bad things, and then the big bad feds charged him with something, and everybody, oh, poor boy, the feds charged you. Oh, no, we're going to wipe you now. You're not bad. No. We know you do bad things, but you're not bad. You're not a bad person. No,
Well,
huh?
blame your fan base for that.
And that's bandwagoners. I don't think a diehard would ever do that, because a diehard knows that's bulletin board material. A diehard knows that's bulletin board material, right? And it's bandwagon fans that set that stuff up.
Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily true.
No, that was dollar bill words. They
that
just
was
didn't.
completely dollar bill words. That was never the reason why the games were not televised for home games. It was the fact that dollar bill Warts wanted you to purchase his own pay-per-view to watch the Hawks games if you wanted to watch them on TV. Fans did not want to do that. And also, dollar bill Warts was too cheap to pay any of the star players. He basically ran out every one of the star players he had.
Well, didn't that pay-per-view or that pay channel, didn't it cost almost as much as a season ticket in the rafters?
Yes.
Right? I mean,
that was dollar bill Warts wanting any way of money. It as soon as Rocky Warts took over, we now know he has some issues there too with what he did this season at a press conference. But by Rocky Warts, when he brought in John McDonough, I get it. McDonough's tainted. But they did it right by bringing the Hawks to TV, by getting the Hawks on NBC Sports Chicago, at the time CSN Chicago. But they did it right. Now they actually own, the Blackhawks themselves actually own Comcast Sports Network. Well, NBC Sports Chicago. They have the 57% share in ownership, I believe.
Was that back in 2006?
Just about, yeah.
Well, I mean, I get it. I'm actually, I gotta tell you something. I know a lot of people are not happy with ABC's announcers.
Oh, I hate them.
But I don't care. Right? And the reason I say that is because the games are where they belong.
They belong on national TV, yes. The issue
NBC,
is,
even during the summer, when it was rerun shit, would put stupid game shows and all that other stuff in prime time instead of the finals, and put the finals on a sports network.
Their issue is, in my opinion, with the ESPN broadcasting on ABC, it's a joke. They don't know what they're covering, it seems like half the time. Whoever is in charge of their audio on their broadcast,
it's spotty. It's spotty.
It's terrible. It's not spotty. It's awful. Watching the Eastern Conference final between the Rangers and Lightning, it was near impossible to watch without having to mute the TV because they had the crowd noise blaring and you could not even hear the play-by-play happening. It was terrible. And there's been issues in the Stanley Cup final with it, I've noticed as well. And I think if ESPN wants to do keep this thing going, they need to step up their broadcasting skills and bring in an actual guy who knows how to broadcast a hockey game.
Well, I think some of this is I think this caught ABC by surprise a little bit, right? This season caught them by surprise because coming into the season we were still in the midst of COVID, right? And we were still in the midst of not being able to have, working in mask and not having full attendance, and some of that was still there, right? And I think that played into their preparation for this.
Well,
right?
they failed at it.
You know what? I'm not going to. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I'll take a bad year to have it on a national network because you know what? As bad as it's been, you're still going to get fans, right? You're still going to get fans. You're still going to get that. Yeah, they did move one game that was supposed to be on ABC. I think that was a February game that got pushed around. Nope. What? No,
that was the Black Friday game.
Black Friday.
Yeah, it was the day after Thanksgiving game.
Oh, okay.
I remember it because I remember being booted up with a broken leg.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they were you could not you had to watch it on ESPN Plus, and for the first about 7 minutes of it, ESPN
it was in
Plus
Spanish.
was still screwed up, and you had to listen to the Spanish.
In Spanish. Yeah, I remember that.
It was I remember it vividly. That was a complete.
I think that game wasn't supposed to be on ABC to begin with. I think
it
that was supposed. Oh, it was.
It was supposed to be on ABC. The issue was they canceled it off of ABC because they thought a game between non-rivals should be on ABC. It was Vegas. I do believe it was Vegas versus the Rangers.
Excuse me. Yeah.
I think
I seen something. Say again.
I think that was what the game was that they put in that place, and that game did not get any good views.
I mean, they were going after markets. New York's a market, so
Chicago's a market.
Well, but when Chicago fans aren't going to watch when their team sucks.
I mean, at the time the Hawks were on a pretty good run there because they already fired Colleton at that point, and at that time when they fired Colleton, the Hawks went on a little bit of a run.
Yeah. But they lost to the Blues in that game.
No, the Hawks won in that game in overtime.
Did they?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I didn't think we lost to the Hawks this year.
You guys did. Alex DeBrincat sniped one in overtime from a pass from Patrick Kane for a cross crease, sir.
Okay. Fair enough. No, and I had something I was going to say, and I forgot what I was going to say. You brought it up. And you know what? That might have had a lot to do with it.
I don't think it was.
No, because it was right after it was announced.
That was like 3 weeks after, and they.
Yeah, but it was still
the reason.
It was still very, very fresh, and they made that decision. They made the decision. The game was 3 weeks, but they made the decision right a week after, right after that came down, and the negative connection to it. Right there was I do remember that now. There was a lot of negative connotation to. As soon as that report came out, the Blackhawks were looked at with a very negative light, and that's when some of the comments came out. That's when and I can't think of his name, on the Oilers. Guy on the Oilers. You traded the Oilers, the defenseman.
Duncan Keith?
Yeah, Duncan Keith made comments, and then that's when Jonathan Toews made his comments, and I think it didn't wasn't it not just Toews, wasn't it also
Kane and Toews made a comment after that game, yeah. But Kane did not even play that game. He was on COVID protocol when he made his comments. The next day after he got out of COVID protocol, he re-explained how he meant it and did not mean it in the way he meant what he said. Same with Taze. He also said the next day on practice, I believe, said something.
Right. Yeah, Quinn. Well, he resigned, but
he was fired. Basically,
he was forced out. He was forced out.
I still can't believe they let Q coach one more game, the game after the reports happened.
I think when the report first came out, I don't think Q didn't come off as bad when the report first came out. It was about a week later or a couple of days later that Q started coming out bad.
No, it was
right?
pretty much the same. Within the day the reports came out when the Hawks released all the reports. Q was basically questioned in why he was coaching the game against the Boston Bruins that like the day after the reports came out.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes they get a little mixed up.
The NHL basically said, "You're out of here."
Yeah, well, I mean, I got a question for you. What do you think about all these coaches getting rehired? Do you think that maybe it's time that the NHL really starts looking at some of the minor league coaches or some of the assistant coaches instead of constantly rehiring?
Yes, there's a way in doing it. Some of the teams that are hiring coaches that have experience, like Florida, they hired an experienced head coach, which made sense. They're coming off a head coach who had no experience in Andrew Burnett. Please come to Chicago, Bernie, because I would like him as a Blackhawks coach. But
not with that talent. I think I mean,
I think he would be the perfect coach for the Hawks.
Yeah, but look what he did with all that talent. He had all that talent and still couldn't get out of the first. Well, yeah, out of the first round.
We don't have talent.
Second round.
We do not have talent.
That's what I mean. So if he couldn't coach with talent, what makes you think he can coach without talent?
I think he's a good coach for a rebuild. I frankly think he will be a good coach for a rebuilding franchise. I think he's young enough. He's only 47, so he's young. Actually, let me look how old he is now.
Might be younger than that.
I think he actually is younger. But here's the thing.
I just think that constantly. Well, the NFL had this problem for a while, right? You'd have Black Monday after regular season was over, and then as soon as the Super Bowl was over, all those guys got rehired.
Andrew Burnett's 48. The thing with it, he I think is a good coach to have if you have young players coming up. The Hawks have young players coming up, especially next year, because we're going to have Lucas Reichel coming up. We're going to have maybe Colton Duck play a couple games next season. Don't know about that yet. Hopefully we still have DeBrincat because there's so much going on with that story.
I have a feeling DeBrincat. I have a feeling they're going to cut DeBrincat loose.
They will be stupid to do so.
Oh no! Well, I agree with you, and that's the problem. There is holding on. God, every time I see him on the TV, I want to throw up. Yeah, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing with DeBrincat. He's 24.
Yeah.
He's a 2-time 40-goal scorer. He's already wearing an A on the team. He could be the next captain of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Exactly. The problem is you're holding on to relics, hoping you're holding on to sentimental value.
We aren't He's
no, not DeBrincat. I'm talking Kane and Taze. Kane and Taze are the reason that DeBrincat's going to get traded. It has nothing to do with what DeBrincat is. It has everything to do with the money that Taze and Kane are owed. And I'm telling you, if you traded one of them away right now, what you would get in return would make you a playoff team next season.
No, it won't. We do not have the depth to make a playoff spot.
You know what? In the Central Division, you will, because there's only one team, maybe two in the Central, that are going to take a step forward. Everybody else is taking a step back.
The Hawks will be nowhere near a playoff spot. I'm saying it right now. The Hawks will have 55 points at the end of the season next year.
Okay, well, that's if they keep it. If you traded, what do you think Kane is worth? What do you think Kane is worth?
High value prospect, a first round pick, and a second round pick.
How about you got to remember his salary. He's what, a $10 million guy?
Yes, but he's still one of the best players.
Okay. Here's this. No, stop. Hold on a sec. This is the thing. If you're going to trade him, you got to get dollar for dollar. Whoever's trading him has to get rid of the dollars to get him in. Just about everybody's going to be in that position. You're going to get possibly two second line or first line $5 million players for him, plus the stuff that you just mentioned. You're going to get 5 for 1. You're going to get 5 for 1 for him. I think you can get two $5 million players, maybe a defenseman and a second line center or winger, right? You could get a Pavel Buchnevich style player, and you could get a Justin Falk style player. Say again?
He won't. A player like Justin Falk is not what the Hawks would be wanting to get. Here's what the Hawks' new GM is looking to get. Players with high work ethic, speed, size, and grit.
Okay, a couple of those things don't go together.
Yeah, I know. That's the issue.
Okay.
Our GM is basically looking for that.
Okay, well, you're not going to find that. You might find a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but you're not going to find that. But what I'm saying is type of players. What you could get 5 players, and not only that, you got to look at this. If you're trading Kane, right? You're trading Kane not to a dump play. You're trading Kane to a team that's looking to get a Stanley Cup. You're getting players that were on a winning team to come in now. Winning team. You're getting guys. Vegas is out, but look at Edmonton. Edmonton, I think, is a team that would love to have Kane. I think, and you could make that work. Here you go. Bryant Nugent Hopkins, which is what, about a $7 million player? I don't think he's a 10.
8.
Okay. Bryant Nugent Hopkins, a 5th or 6th defenseman. Usually can pick them up for $1.5 million, right?
Don't need another defenseman. That's the thing.
Okay. Third line forward. You can pick them up in that $1 to $2 million range. High-end prospect, 2 draft picks.
The issue there, Edmonton doesn't have the high-end prospects to do.
Oh, I beg to differ. I think they do.
Not the type the Hawks would be looking for.
Hold on. I don't have their. I'm trying to pull up their. Oh, here you go. I got it now. I got the deal now. Right? Just looking at this. Here's the deal. Right? Ryan Nugent Hopkins, Tyler Yamamoto, a first round this year, a first round next year, and a conditional second round.
I can see it, but I think Nuge has a no move clause, if I'm not mistaken.
I was just I didn't look up. I'll look up Cat Friendly. Yeah, but you know what? After being hurt and some of the things that went on, he may be willing to move.
The issue is what the Hawks will be looking to get is still never going to be out there by one of the contending teams, I feel like. And the Hawks, honestly, this team next year, they don't even want to be close to a playoff spot.
Okay. He does have a no movement clause. He does have a no movement clause. And actually, he's only making Nuge is only making $5 million.
Oh, I thought he signed an $8 million deal last year.
No, 5 his average is 5.1, and he signed all the way to 28-29.
Yeah, I think he signed that last year.
Yeah, 28-29, right? He signed that far, right? Bryant Nugent Hopkins, Kyler Yamamoto, who's an RFA, right? Mm-hmm. So you can trade him and sign him. And I'm not sure what I'd have to look at what his contract was. And then let me kind of go and see if there's. Let me read off some of their younger prospect guys, right? Xavier Bogart, Dylan Holloway, Carter Savase, I think it is. Rafael Lavore, Martev Petrov. Oh, here's one. He's even exempt from the 50-player limit, contract limit, right? Tyler Trujillo, still on an entry level. Waivers exempt. Said you don't need defensemen, right?
Not really, no.
And they got a couple goals. They got two young goalies. Oliver Roguet, 21. He's 700. He's 795,000. And Ryan Fanti.
Yeah, not good goalies at all.
Right, and then Stuart Skinner.
Skinner's will be their backup next year.
Right. I'm just saying. I mean, you'd have to listen. You'd have to listen to that offer. You'd have to.
Yeah, you would, but the issue is that what the Hawks will be giving up will never be the value of Patrick to get whatever they get for Patrick Kane will never be the value what Patrick Kane was to the Chicago Blackhawks.
That's sentimental value. Okay, I'm talking performance value now.
And a performance value because Kane still was close to putting up a 100-point season again this year.
Right, he's not next year.
If Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat are still on the team together, he is.
I just see. I get where you're at. Trust me, I get where you're at because I don't want to trade any Blues players. I think the Blues are in the best spot of any team in the league. Right? They only have 4 unrestricted free agents on their minor league roster. That's it, and 2 restricted free agents.
Mm-hmm.
2 of their UFAs they can let go, no problem. Now that they're the only issue they have is only got $12 million to spend. Right, and one of their UFAs is they're 2 UFAs. I don't know if they get one of them, but they can get 2 of them easily. You've got Perron and Leddy.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I think you can get a Leddy type player cheaper. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right, Leddy. I mean, I know the Blues only paid him 2.5 or 2.7, but he was a $5.5 million player. I think you can get a guy of his stature in the free agent market for $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think you can get an offensive defenseman, a power play defenseman in the market for $3 million. I really do.
Or if you want you could take Eric Gustafson.
Yes, Husso. There is. I have heard that talk too. That the Oilers are extremely interested in Husso.
I expect Husso to go to Edmonton or Toronto.
If I'm Husso, I get away from Edmonton in a freaking heartbeat. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. You know who needs to go to Edmonton?
Who?
I know who the perfect goalie for Edmonton is.
Who?
I want you to think of the free agent goalies right now, and who do you think would be the perfect guy for Edmonton on a 1 or 2 year deal?
Are you talking about Fleury?
Absolutely.
I don't think he will go there because I don't think he wanted to go there in the first place.
I get it. I get that he may not want to go there, but he's the perfect guy. Because he's the type of goalie that can make that save. He's the Grant Fuhr that you need in Edmonton. You need Grant Fuhr in Edmonton, and there aren't many Grant Fuhrs right now. And the Grant Fuhrs that we do have aren't going. No, I wouldn't put Price there. I don't think Price is that guy.
Price isn't even a free agent. I think he's going to retire, to be quite honest.
No, I don't think so. I think he wants one more go. Especially there was some negativity that came out towards the end of the year with him and his the way he played at the end of the year, him not coming back a lot sooner. Right? That there's a lot that he could have really come back about mid-season. He chose not to. Right? There were some rumors that he was in a position to come back. His wife put an Instagram post out mid-season about him making a decision, and it was what was read into that was he made a decision. Like they said that he could come out, and he decided to stay in. Right, and that to me, there was some criticism of that decision.
Don't forget, there are some goalies on teams who might actually want to be out of their teams. Robin Lehner.
Okay. Yeah, but he's not. Who's a Grant Fuhr type? I can think of about 4 guys that are Grant Fuhr types.
Robin Lehner would put anything out there to play to make a save. He is a hard-nosed goalie that is one of those type of goalies that seems to be in the zone when he's in net.
I think he needs to have a guy like Fleury behind him. When he's not had that guy behind him is when he's failed.
Not really. Look what he did in New York.
He had somebody behind him in New York, though. He had Shigerskin behind him in New York.
No, he didn't.
He had somebody behind him in New York, didn't he?
His backup was Thomas Greiss when he was with the Islanders. And look at Greiss, one of the worst goalies in the NHL.
Fair enough. Again, the head case that he is, being in the Oilers might help. But it all depends on how McDavid is. If McDavid is that head case too, that all about me, that's not going to be a good spot for him. LA to the Kraken. I don't know. I could see Elliott retiring.
I think he's had a decent this year.
What?
I think he does retire this year.
But he's had a decent season with Tampa.
Yeah, he had a decent season, but the Kraken already have 2 goalies, and Grubauer and Chris Drieger. I don't think they will go after Brian Elliott.
I know what I brought this up in my fantasy group. I said that Kemper will probably go down as one of the worst goalies to ever win a cup, and no one argued with.
I can argue it.
Who?
Antti Niemi.
I think that was the other name that came up.
Antti Niemi.
But he could take Niemi's place.
I'm a Hawk fan, and I'm saying Antti Niemi.
Well, I think you and me could have backstopped that team to a cup.
That team was stacked up front. They built a defense. They built an offense. In 2010, the Hawks, this is how they viewed everything. They can have a average goalie at best and have um a lethal offense with a lethal defense, because our defense in 2010 was Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, Brian Campbell, Nicholas Jarmerson, um, Brett Sopel, and Ben Eager in 2010. And you
If
could
Al
also throw in Bufflin
is
as
Allen
well.
a free agent this year?
I think he isn't. I think he's got an extension last year.
Yeah, I thought he might have gotten an extension too. I'm trying to look it up. No, he's signed for next year. He's a UFA the year after.
Yeah,
If
I
I'm
think he
Jake
stays.
Allen, if I'm Jake Allen, I want out of there. Price is
I
signed through 25, 26 at 10.5.
I don't think
Allen's
he.
getting 2.8 in Montreal.
I mean, if he wanted to come to Chicago and be on a losing team, he can do that because we don't have a goalie.
Yeah, no, I think if I think Allen gets traded. I really do. I could see Allen getting traded. I don't think Allen wants to stay there. Um,
He had a
they hung
hard.
him out to dry this year. They hung him out to dry,
Yeah, they hung
right?
him out to dry, but at the first half of the season, Montreal was garbage. When
Yeah,
they got
and that's
Marty
what I
St.
mean.
Louis, when they got Marty St. Louis behind that bench, it seemed like they started to play right.
I don't know. I think that I don't know how much a coaching issue that was.
Oh,
To be
it seemed
honest,
like there was a coaching issue.
I no, I don't. I think it was a leadership issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think the who was it? Demir, I think it's Descharmes, the coach of Montreal.
Yeah, Dom Deschard.
I think that I think he lost the locker room very very early.
Yeah,
That's why I don't think it was so much of a coaching issue to say that coaching is what made them better.
but when Marty St. Louis Jake take over that bench, you could see players like Nick Suzuki, um, Cole Caulfield.
He
They're
let
young
younger guys
players
make mistakes. He let the younger guys get in there and get experience and make mistakes where
and have
Deschamps didn't.
fun.
Right.
Yeah,
So see the thing with that is sometimes it goes both ways. Right. Oh yeah, I can see Crosby retiring here in a couple of years.
if he gets one more concussion, he's done.
Yeah, I could
But
see that.
I think he wants to try and finish out his contract. So in 3 years.
Yeah,
Now,
I could see that. I
what
could
do you
see
think
that.
about Evgeny Malkin in Pittsburgh? Do you think
I
he's gone?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, same. I think he's gone or he retires. One of the two.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's with same thing with what's his face in Boston, you know. Uh
Bergeron.
huh?
Bergeron.
Bergeron, yeah, Bergeron. You know, Bergeron could get more money elsewhere.
Yeah.
But, you know, does he want to play elsewhere? You know, he may not. He may have gotten into the Boston culture enough where that's where he just wants to stay and end it.
And he's a
Um
captain, so
yeah, so that might be enough there that he just gets the 1 year and then retires. Though they've got other issues there. You know, one of the problems I think they have is that I think they may have to trade Marchand, and I don't know what they can get for him.
well, he's going to miss like half of the season this coming
Yeah.
year. I don't know if he has any value for a team
Yeah,
as
that's
of
true.
right
Well,
now.
I thought he was going to be back by November.
I thought it was half the season.
So they're saying January now?
Yeah, I thought I saw somewhere where it was saying January.
Wow. Wow, I didn't realize it's going to be that long. Yeah, they're going to be in trouble. I'll tell you what. Hey, well, it's just you and me and two other guys, but what do you see of the Central? How do you see the Central? I mean, I know that there's the draft coming up and free agency and that, but just looking how teams are now, how do you see the Central shaping up next year?
Well, Colorado is going to have to figure out goaltending because I don't know if they could re-sign Kemper to a cheap deal, yes, but I think they are going to look for a different goalie. If they do, I think they still contend for first seed, even though they probably lose Kadri to a team like I could see Kadri ending up in New York, to be quite honest.
He's got to go. He's got to go somewhere that can take a big ego.
And New
Right.
York.
But they're going to lose a lot more than that. They're going to lose at bare minimum. I say they lose eight players this year.
Mm-hmm.
Eight players on that team. That's a lot of chemistry.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. I get that they're going to keep some of that core, but when you're losing some of that energy and some of the other things that are brought. Here's an example, right? Here's an example. If I had told you that Bouwmeester was the key to the Blues winning the Cup in 2017-18, would you have ever agreed with me? Would you have ever believed that Bouwmeester was the type of player that was going to lead you to a Cup?
No.
Right? But that's what he did. He's that type of player that he was that when he got over his injuries, he became that leader, both defensively and on the ice and off the ice, that team needed. That type of player. They're losing a whole bunch of that type of player this year.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, it's not easy to find that type of player. You just can't pluck them out.
Yeah.
Right? You just don't pluck those guys. You don't pluck Darren Helm out from he's not available every year.
I'm just saying this, the Central Division will have only I don't think they have any of the wild card spots next year.
Either do I. I think it's going to flop. I think it's going to be 3-5 the other way.
Yeah, I think 3 teams make it into the playoffs next year from the Central Division, and here's my picks as of what I think will happen right now. It's going to be Colorado, St. Louis, and Dallas.
I think you're missing somebody really important in there. First of all, I don't think Colorado is not winning the division again.
Actually, losing. Instead of Dallas, Minnesota.
Minnesota is losing way too much with no money to sign anybody because of the buyouts. I think the team that you're missing is Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg has of the teams that I look in the Central that have a chance of advancing forward when other teams fall back. Winnipeg is a team that can advance forward. I right now, to me, St. Louis is the clear favorite in the Central for next year. And that's even if I wasn't a Blues fan. They're losing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest loss they could have is Perron. And they have guys in the system that could fill Perron's shoes.
Yeah.
Right? They have guys in the system right now, down on the farm, playing your Wolves, which
I don't like Chicago Wolves.
The Wolves.
That is not my team. I hate the Wolves.
I know. But playing, so they've got guys on the farm right now that can come up. And not only that, let's say you have $3 million. Let's say that they don't sign Letty. They signed Perron to a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal. I know Lance wanted a 1-year deal. I think you've got to bridge past next season. I don't think you want any more deals ending next season. You have too many free agents, too many big free agents ending next season. You want to make sure that you push guys past that so you can negotiate with these guys now.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Okay. So let's say you get Perron 5.5 or 6 mil. Right? Maybe a little less. So you got 8 mil left. You're going to have to pay $2 million, right around $2 million, 2.5 to Mikkola and Barbashev. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's say 5, 6, 7. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's $5 million. You need a backup goalie. You can get a mil. You can pull one of your guys, and that's another mil. Mm-hmm. So you've got about $4 million, right? Maybe $4 million or so to play with. And you may not even need to play with that because you've got a couple of defensemen that you might be able to bring up.
Yeah.
That costs less. Or is there a $4 million defenseman out there that can take Letty's spot?
Probably
right?
like Calvin DeHaan, maybe.
Yeah. So when you look at St. Louis right now, I look at them, and again, a couple of bad bounces here or there, and they're in the finals.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so that's how close they are. They're not as far away as Avs fans like to think they are. And Avs fans aren't as far ahead of everybody as they like to think they are either.
Yeah.
Right? I see the Avs taking a step back. That's too much chemistry. Right? And goalie, losing both your goal or Francoeur, I don't know if they trust Francoeur to be the starter. Maybe 40, 45 games.
I don't think they trust Francouz either.
Yeah. So you've got to spend. You got $26 million between 12 guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a lot, bud.
Yeah,
that's not a lot. Right? That's $4 million average, and there's too many guys that are going to want pay raises.
Yeah.
You're not going to want this championship run pay raise, whether they win it or not.
Yeah.
Right. I see them taking a step back. I really do. And I do see them possibly missing the playoffs. I really do. I see them taking I see some issues. I also see some possible trades of guys that you would have thought were not tradable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you've got all that money, and then Nikushkin might be tradable. Though he might be one of the free agents. But Landeskog, I know they just signed him. I don't know if he has a no movement. If he doesn't have a no movement, they might look to trade him. Right? There's going to be guys.
I can pull up his the Colorado cat friendly.
So there are guys out there. The Colorado is in a lot worse shape than you think, and I think Dallas is in bad shape. Minnesota's in real bad shape, right? Mm-hmm. Minnesota went all in this season. They got rid of.
has a no movement clause.
No movement. When's it? Is it?
It's a
scroll over it and see if it kicks in at a certain point or something.
Nope, it's a full no movement.
Full no movement. Okay.
And next year is their key, is because Nathan McKinnon's probably going to fetch them like upwards of 12 to.
Actually, that's 13. The other thing that I think is not going to happen. That is one thing that I think a lot of players are going to have to realize this season. The money that they want isn't going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
The super high end guys, and now I'm talking the 1%ers. Right? Get that? But everybody else, I think everybody else is going to have to look at a pay decrease.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The economy is not what we thought it was. The economy is dropping. There's a lot of things going on, and that salary cap, you got to look at a lot of those contracts that when you sign a contract today, you're not looking at your salary cap this season. You're looking at what your salary cap could be 4 or 5 years down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how you're signing a player. You're not signing him for today. You're signing him 3-4 years down the road. What's he going to do to my cap, and where do I think my cap's going to be in that point? Right now, every GM will tell you that they thought the cap would be about $4 million more than what it is.
Yeah.
Right? $4 million more. All of these big contracts that were signed were for a cap at 86 mil, not 82.5.
Yeah.
So the fact that the cap is 82.5, these guys aren't going to get the money they would have if it would have been 86.5. So there's some issue there that agents and players are going to have to understand that if they want the money, they're going to have to go for longer term to get more money for less AAV.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, right? And you can structure it any way you want. The AAV is the most important thing. AAV and bonuses, that is what's going to be important. Because you can pay a guy $10 million this year and $4 million and $10 million, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million to give him that money. Great. but his AAV, even though he's making $1 million, stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you do that, that AAV is all that matters, and you got to take that AAV out, and you got to look at, I think, for the next 2 years, the salary cap's preset.
Yeah.
It can't go any lower than what it is. It could go a little higher, but I don't think it will. I think the owners are going to leave it where it is. I don't think the owners want to make it higher because of all their losses. But I think that's got a lot to do, and I don't think guys are going to get paid what guys think they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
I don't sound as stupid as it doesn't sound as stupid as it sounds.
No, I see where you're coming from.
Right? I just, if I'm a GM, I sit a player and I take all my free agents and all their, I get all my free agents. I actually get every one of my players' agents on the phone and do a conference call.
Yeah.
And I explain to them, okay, I understand how we did things before. Now, you got to remember, when we did this, we expected the cap to be this number. It's $4 million less.
Yeah.
So the money that you expected to get when it was at this isn't there. So, and it's not going to be, now I say it's not there, and you go, oh, well, it's not there for you. It's not there for anybody. It's still $4 million less than what they had. There are a lot of teams up against the cap.
Yeah.
And then you have teams like Buffalo that had to take on a dead salary so they can hit the floor. That, I think, is an issue. Right? That I think is a huge freaking issue.
Yeah.
They took on, I asked an agent and I got the answer. They took on his salary so they can reach the floor.
Yeah, that happens.
Right? That's exactly what they did. They took his salary on so they can make the floor. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, did you already have your meeting? Your fanfare?
Yeah.
Did you get your jersey signed?
Yes.
Did you ask him about coming on the show?
I did not.
Wendy! All those, man, if I'm going to a fanfare, I'm taking my card and I'm dropping it down for each one of them, and I'm talking to them and I'm saying, hey, this is what I do, this is who I am, da 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 da. Because the team isn't going to give you the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can try and get on the NHL media, but it doesn't mean anything. I have NHL media access, and it means nothing to the teams. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. Right? Oh, okay, I get to see some stuff, and I can apply to some certain things, but when it comes right down to it, it means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If the team isn't going to accept it, it means nothing.
This is a video from the autograph signings.
Oh man, you still should have talked to a couple of them. Told them. Did you tell them about your show at least?
I didn't. I don't like. Here's the thing. If they find it, they find it. That's fine with me. I don't care if they don't find
it.
Okay.
Here you go, Wendy.
I'm doing this as a hobby. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, but you're good at this. Okay? You're good at this. And I know that you want this to be, you're studying journalism, right?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I thought you were studying journalism.
Nope.
Well, next year, let's figure out a way to get me to go up there with you, and I'll get you a couple of those guys on your show.
You could try, but I'm not one of those type of people. If they're doing something that they're doing for the fans, like the autograph signing, they're there for that. I'm fine with that, and I don't want to bother them about something.
They weren't there for the autograph signing.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, they weren't.
They were there for they pretty much got paid to go to an autograph.
They were there for the money. So that's what they were there for, the money. Getting the money. And at that point, That's where you've got to go, and yeah, it may be your hobby, but you've got to push and say, hey, yep, da 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 da. Maybe I'm too pushy, but you know what? If you're not gonna, if it's the only way to get your foot in the door is to slam it in the door, that's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're at an hour and a half, Wendy. A lot longer than I expected. So, and most of it was just you and me bullshitting. So,
Yeah.
I had a good time, man. Hey, everybody, it's the guy, the Y Blues fan for Windy City Hockey, saying aloha, mahalo. I'll see you on the next Blue Note Fan Report. Aloha.